Hi there. So you're planning your wedding or special event, and I know you've wondered, do I really need an event planner to help me with this? Well, stay tuned. Our guest, Trish Simitakos of Trish Star Events, is going to give us some nuggets about why you should select a wedding planner and some of the tips that you need to do so. So stay tuned. Hello, folks. It's Jillian again with DC Weddings with Jillian, and I am so excited to talk to Trish of Trish Star Events. So I want to introduce you to Trish, and Trish, you are going to say your last name for me, and then you are going to tell all our guests all about your elevator speech about Trish and Trish Star Events.
Thank you so much, Jillian. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm super excited for what you're doing with this program. So I am Trish Simitakos, that is Greek, and I am the owner of Trish Star Events, which is a boutique social events planning agency. So we specialize in weddings and social events for clients. I also own Singularity Event Production, which is focused on corporate more meeting planning, destination planning, production. And I also have a YouTube show called Trish.0 Show, which we might have time for, but those are my three main pillars of what I do and who I am.
You are a busy lady, my dear. Trish, that's what it sounds like to me.
No kids. I don't have children. So, when people are like, "Oh, you're so busy and you do this," and like you're always like, I'm like, I don't have kids. Bless all the mothers out there. If I had one, I couldn't do half of what I do. So there you go.
Well, we'll just call this your baby. How about that? Okay, so now what intrigued me, we last worked together on a corporate event, and corporate events are great, they're good bread and butter. But I know your heart is for that fabulous event for a bride or a party, a social event where people are really celebrating something. So tell us about how you got into this industry, how you got this heart for doing this for our clients, and just let us know a little bit about you, Trish.
Thank you. Um, so I started in the industry in 1996, and I was working on the corporate end of things. I was working in initially I was doing a lot of like groups travel, group meetings, sort of working with smaller businesses. I then went to work for American Express and then Intercontinental Hotels. And as my career progressed, I sort of developed um, my own taste for things, right? Like what did I like to do and what didn't I like to do? And what I love to do is connect with people. I will tell you that when you are my client, chances are we're going to be friends for years afterwards. I might be planning your children's weddings. Is how long these relationships tend to last with me. And that's because it's such a long and intimate process that I like to find out what is it about this event that's so special. I mean, people get married all the time, people have social events all the time, but why is having this wedding your way, like why is that important to you, that we use the color blue instead of the color red? Why is it important to you that you get married at the church hall instead of a hotel ballroom? It's finding out those the backstory that is really what I've grown to love. And then of course using that to sort of bring to life some just a creative expression of that event. And you can't get up that on corporate. So I always say that my corporate side pays better, but it doesn't pay the heart. So I do one business for the heart and I do one business for the wallet.
Indeed, I certainly can relate to that because You said a few key words there that is really to the core and the heart of what we do at Caribbean Caterers. It's that intimacy that we create with our client that allows us to give them that 100% what they need. You can't do it if you didn't get intimate with them and really understand what they are talking about. So now, my bride and groom or couple that are listening now don't necessarily, they're like, what does that mean? You're going to get intimate with me? Are you going to come home with me? Are you going to ask me on my business? Or what does that really look like? So I'm just planning a wedding for the first time. We've done hundreds, thousands maybe of weddings, right? This is their first time. And they're like, okay, why can't I just select, if you must select a wedding or event planner, why can't I just select the person that's given me the best price? Why do you need to get intimate with me?
So that's an amazing point that you bring up. Like, why would someone select a business like mine versus some of the others out there? Um, the way I see kind of the wedding planning world, the arena of wedding planners, you're pretty much going to get one of three people out there in the world, and that's someone who really has a passion for it, but probably this isn't their first line of business. They're probably, I mean, it's someone that's going to be a very friendly, hand-holding guide to you, but maybe they're not the best connected in the industry. And again, and I want to be perfectly clear: none of these three pillars that I'm talking about. There's no wrong answer. Like, there's just the right answer for you as the client. So for some people, that it works because typically these people are less expensive, and they're available at odd hours, and for whatever reason that's just a vibe that clicks with you, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then you're going to get someone who, as a third, as a second option, you'll get someone who's maybe part of like a larger agency, and maybe they have like 15 planners under their belt, and they're more of like a broker. So it's like you contact the broker, they have like a whole team, and they're going to connect you with the team. Again, nothing wrong with that because there's safety in that, right? Like if something happens to your planner, you can go back to the broker, and they're going to be able to connect you with another planner immediately. So there's a good safety net there, and they probably have a very good network. But you're also probably one of like 25 weddings for this one planner. So maybe that's a good fit for someone who doesn't need a lot of like high touch. Like if you're just like someone like, no, I just need someone to grab this file and run with it, then that's a good choice. And then the third type of planner, which is kind of where I fall into, is someone that is more of that boutique, right? We take the time to learn about your likes, your dislikes. I'm not the least expensive planner. I'm not the most expensive planner out there. And I don't take on that many weddings per year. And I do that on purpose because I want to make sure that I focus all my attention, that I can give you, so that you're not feeling like you're being pushed aside, or, that you're feeling you're getting the right level of attention. But again, that it's only good if you want that kind of attention. So, like whichever way you go, again, there's no wrong answer. You're going to have a wonderful wedding, regardless of who you choose. But you would choose me for that particular reason because you're like, I don't want the someone who is just kind of winging it. I don't want the someone who's going to treat it more of like a churn, like a process. I want somebody who's going to guide me, who's going to like talk me through and answer my crazy questions, and not judge me if I send a 2 a.m. email. I may not answer your 2 a.m. email, but I will not judge your 2 a.m. email. So, I treat your wedding, like it was the wedding of a friend, and I do that on purpose and with purpose. Does that answer your question? I'm sorry.
Fantastic. Yes. Not only does it answer my question, but it puts out there some interesting things for our couples to think about. Because just like in catering, where There is full service catering where we are doing not just the food, but we've got the staffing and the bartenders and all the linen and the china, and we're doing everything for the reception. There are other caterers that are doing just the food. Somebody else, a decorator, or somebody else has to come in and do all that other stuff. And they're just handling the food. And then there are other caterers that just drop the food off and they're gone. Like food is left to be orphans at an event. So it's the same sort of thing that people are just getting to realize that there are different types of catering. So there are different types of wedding and event planners. And it's not something that's necessarily obvious to the first time buyer of an event planning service. So it's great to hear all the different types. And again, with that part time, somebody that has their regular job, they're still a great planner. They still have the passion that you may have, but they may not have the resources. They may not have the wherewithal. There's pros and cons to everything. And I so like how you phrased it in that it's not wrong. It just mightn't be right for you. So I love that. So that was great for our listener to hear.
Thank you. Yeah, I sometimes I feel like you know, the couple's number one fear is the fear of being judged for making the bad choice.
Mhm.
And and I've said this for years. I don't care who's listening to me. I don't care what feathers I ruffle. All that's important at the end of the day is that you both show up and that it's legal. That's it. Like all of the rest of it, all of the rest of it, I swear to you, if you don't want to have, if you want it to be just you at the city hall and you want to go to Denny's afterwards, that's not wrong. That's just you.
Correct.
And don't fear judgment because you wanted to spend $300,000 on a floral installation because just as there's that person, that it's the same person, by the way, who's going to judge that person for spending 300K and judge the other woman who had her $20 Wegmans bouquet and say like why did you spend your money that way? And it's like, well, kindly take your hand out of my pocket and be along go along your day. So yeah, I feel what you're saying. It's like I just feel like couples just need to do what's right for you. That's it, and that's what I'm here to do, is to help you figure that out.
And that too is part of the intimacy that you get with your couples, to understand what's the right thing for them within the parameters of what you can offer. So this is great information for them to hear. So now, I don't believe that there is any couple that's working with Caribbean caterers that's not interested in a passionate uh, vendor, because that's what they get full on with us when they're working with us. And so when they are looking to put a team together, I know that they're already in that mode of hearing about that passion that you have. So I know, only because I've experienced it with you and other planners, is that there is so much more that's going on than picking your venue and your linen color and how you walk down the aisle. There are opinions from family members. There are, and you can probably give a list that's much longer than I probably can, but I know what I see in terms of how a planner such as yourself can help a couple navigate through things that aren't even the typical things that they have to navigate. Any stories about that?
Could probably do it. I could probably do my own YouTube channel about like, and and there are plenty podcasts, the whole nine yards, about wedding sort of. I won't call them nightmares or horror stories, but certainly, tales, interesting tales, we'll call them. Yeah, I think that if you were to ask me what the number one you know, thing that a couple has to kind of concern themselves with. It's not the weather. It's not bad. It's not the wrong caterer. It's your family. Really, really and truly. I have seen, you know, ill-intended wedding guests tank a wedding faster than anything else surrounding that wedding. Um, it's the unfortunate nature of dealing with human emotions. So part of what I do is logistical. Part of what I do is help you pick the right menu, the right dress, the right venue. But also part of it is therapy. I'm like, but like a part of me is just like walking you through challenging, situations, like, your mom wants this, but your mother-in-law wants that, or, the sister-in-law won't stop crying. And how do you manage that? So, um, sometimes it's just playing therapist. I should probably charge more for that, but there you have it.
And folks, you heard it here, because this is such an important point. Because when you count your pennies and try to figure out, can I afford this service? You're certainly not thinking about the things that can happen that can affect your event. And I absolutely have seen um, Trish and others like her be in that situation where they are way over and above the pay grade of what they're doing in order to get your event done. And so I hear that bit of a story and I know it's exactly so. And it's easy for us to um, to say that these things happen, but I can hear you, the couple that's listening, say, "Oh no, my family is not like that." Hello. We get it. I see it, and unfortunately, because I have great professionals like Trish, they shield the vendors from all the other things that can possibly be happening and going on, and allow us to do our work, so you still have a sparkling event that we can laugh about the things that happen behind the scenes next week. Not tonight on your on your wedding night, next week. So thanks for that, Trish. That was wonderful.
You're welcome. Yeah, again, it's that whole keeping them focused and in the moment, because stuff is going to happen. To say that it won't happen, it will happen. But it's a matter of like just being there for them at that vital time to steer them away from the distraction.
So fabulous, fabulous. We didn't mean to put a damper on this beautiful, happy time that you're going to have in planning your wedding, but I think we would be doing you a disservice if we led you down the road of thinking nothing ever happens and everything goes smooth sailing. And that's why a Trish is so important in your corner, so that you can have that smooth sailing. So that is absolutely great. So let's talk about some more fun things then. So, once couples have determined that they do need an event planner, someone to put all the pieces together and actually have this production on the day of, smooth sailing on the day of, and that they can literally concentrate on each other, on being there for each other, being present in the moment, actually enjoy their event. Is there something, what would be the one thing you would tell a couple that's important about working with you for them to have that type of day?
I tend to work with couples that are more focused on the bigger picture than the minute details. And I try, like I'm gonna push to make sure you have the most perfect day that we can produce for you. But part of that is sort of like an agreement. I agree to do my best to get you that perfect day. You agree to not be super focused that the rose isn't the right pink. that, or that someone, like you had asked all the guests to wear formal and then someone showed up in jeans. Unfortunate, it's very unfortunate, but don't let that ruin your day. So I tend to counsel people that way, where I say, listen, like, focus on the things that are important to you, focus on those details, pick the two or three details. And for some people it's the food has to be absolutely right, and then the rest of it just has to look really good. And for some people it is the flowers, and then the rest of it can be whatever it is. So we focus on things that like your must haves. And then we let the rest of it go, because if everything becomes a must have, you're just going to be a walking ball of nerves going down the aisle. Your wedding is going to become a checklist of of you walking down the aisle, and instead of seeing, depending, instead of seeing like your guests and how wonderful your day is and how perfect everything is because you're there, about to say your vows, you're like, okay, so that vendor, the lights are good, and she's wearing the right thing, and that, it's raining outside or it's drizzling. You're going to start going through your checklist. It's going to pull you out of the experience. So it's very important to maintain, so that you maintain the experience. Just let go of the things that don't matter, because I swear to you, they don't. At the end of the day, the pictures will be wonderful, because the picture, the memories will be about you as a couple. At the end of the day, that's what we're getting to, is creating that perfect, memory as a couple.
That is such great advice. Wow, you should bottle that bit of advice, because because indeed people do get into that minutia, and I think it's personality. Some have the personality where kind of controlling and everything has to be exactly. But I as you said that, what came to my mind is, as a wedding professional ourselves, as Caribbean caterers, we cannot do our job expertly if we don't have a Trish in our corner. Because the things that um, you would lead a couple to find important, to find relevant in order to make their day, so that they could translate that to the vendors and say, okay, yeah, the meal is particularly important, and how we determine what style of service, whether it's buffet or plated or family style or whatever it is, all of that has to do with how they want to enjoy and what was important to them about that meal and that service. And we get to that with them through you. And so I am glad that you can give that bit of advice, because I think I've experienced that couples don't necessarily see the correlation between you and the vendors and what they get on the end. They see it on the day of, they don't necessarily see it walking through. So, great bit of advice. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome, and you're right. Like, working with an amazing team, um, and that's really what you kind of want to get to, is working with an amazing team. You want to pick, a highly qualified professional catering service, that has a great reputation. Is going to knock it out of the park. This isn't the day that you take chances. I like I I don't, again, no wrong answers, but if you want my opinion, select professionals and you'll get a professional job.
Indeed, indeed. Thanks for that. Well, we are really at the end of our time here together, but you have given our couple so many great nuggets that they didn't see beforehand. So thank you for that. And I want you to leave them with one thing that you would want anybody that works with you. What is the reason that they should, just one thing that they should select you and no one else?
Uh, you would select me because you like my style. You like the way I present things. I'm a helper. I'm a educator by nature. So if you like that feeling of being sort of, got held by the hand and sort of guided through the process. And, like, I'm here to, like, reassure you and be, like, on your team, then that's why you're going to work with me, for sure.
Fantastic. Well, folks, we've been here with Trish Simitakos of Trish Star Events. She's also of Singularity Event Productions. She's also of All Things Celebrations and Events. She is a busy lady, but she keeps busy because that's how she does a better job for you. So look her up, give her a call, and see if she is the right one to help you get your event done. So thank you so much, Trish. We appreciate you and look forward to working with you again.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this. And you just keep doing what you're doing, because this is wonderful.
Thank you so much. Have a great night and happy holidays. Bye bye.
Thank you, you too.